How's it going?
Doing good, bro. How are you?
Doing good.
Nice, nice, nice.
Nice to see you and love the ambience that you got.
Apparently, so my the all the lights and all the electronics like which support IoT,
Uh-huh.
it's connected to the home assistant. You know the home assistant. So apparently, if my wife wants to switch on and off, she can do it from upstairs.
Is it connected to Alexa?
Yeah, everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. So, if your Alexa is listening to me, even I can shout out my lungs
Uh,
out and I can say that, hey, turn
I'm
off the
using a
lights.
I'm using a different headset today. So
Yeah. That's why I told
Alexa,
if your Alexa can hear me.
yes. So how's everything?
Awesome. Doing good.
How was it? It's still your Sunday. How is your Sunday, right? Not how was your Sunday.
Yeah, time zones, right? So, yep,
Yeah.
it's still halfway with the midday sun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good. Lazing around. And yeah. In fact, yesterday we had Johannes. You remember her Johannes, right? So we
Yeah,
had
I know him.
Johannes
Yeah.
in Bangalore, and we had
So
our
he
meetup.
all the way from German to India.
Yep. So
Oh,
his
nice.
team is based out of India as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
so he was here for work, and we were like, okay, since you're in Bangalore and we are already planning for recap, let's do it.
Nice, nice, nice. That's
Yeah, it
amazing.
was fun, and he gave a shout out to our podcast as well.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Anas.
Awesome. Yeah, and a little of my professional update. I am still a developer advocate, but moved out of my current dog. Okay, it's still not my
Wow.
current dog, but okay.
Okay.
My last
Okay.
dog. Yep.
Cool.
So
So
still lazing
exciting things are
around.
coming up, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you gotta
Okay.
suspend some things.
Okay. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm surprised. Okay.
Yeah, you don't say you're surprised when you're surprised.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. Yeah, and I did go to the beach. So a couple of friends at here for lunch. Then we went to the beach, and yes, I love swimming. I love water. Apparently, it's a really good weather in Wellington. It's like 18
Uh-huh,
degrees, 18
uh-huh,
Celsius. So it's
uh-huh,
so cool. It's so cool.
uh-huh.
Like I know 18 degrees for some people is like sounds like cold, but for me it's not cold.
Hmm.
It's a bit warmer, and I had a really good time. Like swimming and enjoying the water. It's so good. Then came back home and had a really good coffee with my wife. Yeah. Then I was preparing for the Zach show. The best part
Yes.
today, two IT expertise try to sort out the StreamYard payment. That's the best part. Like, we were troubleshooting and I was troubleshooting in the morning and then we realized, okay, these are simple things to sort it out. And yes, it's all good.
Yep, finally.
Yeah.
We figured it out and here we are.
I love
Live.
this. I don't know whether Jason Dunn is watching this, but Jason Dunn and Shafras, this Tumblr is amazing. The community Tumblr. I love this.
Yeah, the community builder program applications just got closed and
Yeah.
a lot of people have applied. So fingers
Yes.
crossed.
Yes. And if you got selected, please use it wisely and make use it like properly, which I mean like you can utilize all these benefits to grow yourself and please give back to the community. So that's one of the best thing I learned. And Zach and myself, we both joined. We met together to join this Zach show through the community builder program.
Yeah, thanks to
Out
community
of
builder
nowhere, out
program.
of nowhere. Trust me, out of nowhere. Like suddenly we met like each other. Hey Zach, shall we start a podcast? Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? You might even find your co-host for a podcast
Yes.
because of community builders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool.
Awesome.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I think we've already been 5 minutes on air,
all the jibber
and
jabber.
yeah, and we can just go on and on and on and on, and yep. So,
Okay.
Zach, do you know? You know that EventBridge is
Yes.
one of my favorite services, and they just rolled out update a few days back, and I just pinged you telling that, hey, this is something really cool and we should try it out. And that's how we made the podcast.
Yes. We just we just start like that. Yes, because we think if something really interesting the audience or developers, engineers, yes, then we realize because we both day to day we use these services and I mean Zach used these serverless services a lot because as you know I'm very boring container person. Yes.
Boring container
but
person.
but I have something really interesting stories regarding this, so I think let's get started, right?
Yeah, let's get started.
Cool. Over to you,
So,
Zach.
awesome. Okay. So, I thought, okay, why do we always use presentations and use console and code and only those things? And let's use some interesting things like whiteboarding and go about how do we talk about this new service or new update from the service, right? EventBridge. So what EventBridge announced was, EventBridge has a feature of event buses, and event buses could deliver events from different sources to destinations based on different rules that we apply. And one update that EventBridge rolled out was you can send events from one account to another account, invoking an AWS service such as an SQS or another event bus or a Lambda function in another account. So two accounts, and events from account A goes into account B. How cool is that? Because most of the times when you're building event-driven architectures, and even things when you're using a lot of events in terms of how you're tracking your production systems, how you're especially when you're working with things like SageMaker or ETL jobs, where you want to be notified that, okay, yeah, ETL job's completed, or you got your response from uh, all the data that's been processed. So you need events, and especially when workloads are being run across multiple accounts, having something like EventBridge help you trigger resources in another account is really helpful. And hence, this is one of my favorite updates of 2025. So let's get started. And yeah, so here's how it looks, where we have two AWS accounts. Yeah. And you have an EventBridge bus. So here you have an EventBridge bus and account. Account A, account B, and you
I
have
mean,
events.
while
Yep.
you're doing that, I would say like I really love the Accelerator. This too, it's really nice.
Yep. I always use it whenever I'm trying to whiteboard or try
Nice.
to come up with all my architecture diagrams and stuff for
Mm-hmm.
my blog and explain to folks. Yes, really helpful.
Yeah.
You could have an EventBridge bus, or it could be a Lambda function, or an SQS. In account A, you got an event bridge, which basically has a source of all the events. Be it things like you have uploaded an object into an S3 bucket, you probably things like a CSV file or a Parquet data, whatnot, right? Where you're basically uploading data for data analytics or whatnot. That has to occur in another account, for instance. So whenever that S3 object has been uploaded, EventBridge has an event, S3 put object, and that can have a rule which says event rule. Okay. So event bus goes to a rule, and the rule would say, hey, I want to invoke an EventBridge bus in another account. Or there could be another rule that could say it has to invoke a Lambda function. So you could have different rules in a specific event bus, which can mention that it has to invoke a specific target resource, basically with the on of that resource itself. And now you can even define these resources across accounts. So when you're doing all of these things, of course, you need to have the IAM permissions across these accounts. And also, I'll be showing you this as a demo from the AWS console. So when you're doing this, you are able to define the IAM permissions and also go into your second account and configure that resource policy so that you ensure that the target from your account A can invoke the destination in account B. So all that said, I know this is a very simple diagram and a very easy to do thing. Of course, IAC is the best way to do it, but always fun to play around the console, isn't it, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't understand what's happening, what's the purpose of going to IAC, right? Like my personal understanding is like always I'm telling everyone, if you want to understand a service, just work through the console or play around the console. So once you get hands out of the console, like what exactly and what's going to be on the scene, then go to the IAC. Isn't it?
Yep, absolutely right. Because console helps you discover a lot of things, and especially when it's for the very first time and you don't know what are the different properties that you want to configure with, console is definitely the way. But yeah, you don't do this in the production. You go through the standard way of, or a better best practice way with IAC. So let's create an event bus first. Let's call it as the Zach's show EV event bus, and I'm gonna keep things default at the moment. Here's a cool thing: resource-based policies. You can generate them, and you can see that it creates a there is a template. You can just load the template, and the template tells you, hey, when you want to do cross-account things, when you want to do configurations with respect to restricting the access with putting events into a event bus or triggering the destinations, all of that, you can define them right from this resource-based policy. So for now, what I'll do is we'll not keep anything. Let's just delete it, and let's create this as is. And to do that, let's create a rule as well. Before we create a rule, here's another update that AWS launched, where from the console, and you're working with multiple accounts like we are doing right now, there is a way where you can manage these multiple accounts and the sessions with it. So that's what I'm doing, where I have two of my AWS accounts logged in already, and I just go in to my second account. I have a Lambda function that I created 2 hours ago just to see, hey, before demo and playing around with the demo gods, you need to be sure. And so I just created a simple
I mean,
Lambda function.
exactly late day like today, because we are having a lot of issues, technical issues with the Steam yet. So yeah, why not?
Yep. Yeah, you need to say hi-fi to the demo gods once in a while. So just you're like, yeah, you better have my back.
So Jones, you created an event bus.
Hmm.
So to set up this, do you need a custom event bus? Or I mean, you cannot configure this to the default event bus.
You can do it.
Okay,
Uh, yep. But yeah,
cool.
you would have to add the resource policies and also
Uh,
have the rules
okay,
appropriately.
okay, cool.
So it's
That
possible.
can be a stupid question, because container guy is asking a serverless person. So yeah.
Yeah, in case if anyone has any questions or anything, feel free to drop them out in the comments, and yeah, we'll pick that
Yes.
up. So in my account B, I have already created another function. I know the UI looks really fancy. That's a talk for another day with Lambda console, but you can see that I just created a console log of the event that's coming from my account 1. I need my function on, so I'll just copy that. I'll go back into my account A, or my first account, create a rule. So I'll say cross account Zach's show, and go next. Although I can create a sample event, I'll skip it for the moment. And you can select what kind of patterns do you want to work with. I'll just go with event pattern and exists matching, set source exists true. So whenever you're working with events, what EventBridge does is it has certain patterns which it uses for your event rules to validate if that whole JSON payload or that event is valid or not. That's the reason you have different patterns, where you could even have filters and certain conditional based uh, uh, pattern matching, so that you can say, okay, if certain value is present in my payload, only it trigger this specific target, or if everything exists. Like here, what I'm doing is, if my event payload has source, if it exists, then invoke the specific destination. So defining patterns is really helpful because you ensure that your, especially in a production system, when you're working, you don't want your resources to be triggered for every event. And it's only for specific events, or the things that you want to work with is what you want uh, uh, your compute, or your things like lambda functions, step functions, all of them to be invoked. And invoking them for irrelevant events is just going to increase your bill, and also it's going to be an inefficient way to do it. So yeah, both cost and performance. And so once you define your pattern, you go in and select your target. So here, what we're doing is a lambda function, and you
I
see
figured
this.
that out.
Yes,
I figured
target
that out. Yes.
location
Yes.
is in another account, and here goes my on. I'll create a default role for this as well, which has Lambda invocation. So it creates an assume role which uses Lambda invocation from EventBridge. Once I just going with the default configurations, nothing fancier, and create role. Okay, just so you can see the rule has been created, and I have the targets defined. The role has been created. All sounds good. And so, Zach, do you want to see an error or do you want to see a success?
Um, I would say I would like to see an error first because just
Mm-hmm.
be trying to connect two dots together. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I'll just go into my event bus.
Those who are listening, to be honest, I have no idea what you're saying about. Like, we are talking about the like first time we weren't preparing, like, how to say this, like, um, he was like suddenly asked me this question. We haven't preparing for this question. Yes.
I put you on the spot, so
Yes,
yes.
exactly. Someone might be thinking like, okay, this guy's prepared for this, and John's gonna ask this guy another question, and no, not like that. Hello world from account one. Nice.
Yeah, for all the uh, OCDs I have with Prettify, this is a
Oh,
really good
that's
one.
nice. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. I was like, why is typing like that?
Yeah, yeah. IDs have it really eased it out, right? So this pattern is my best friend. So send, and it says successful.
Oh, wow.
Let's see if it is
That is
really
invoked.
successful.
Can you see the invocations?
Nope, 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 nope. Any guesses why, Zach?
Okay. So I'm gonna explain this with my basic AWS knowledge, I would say. Okay. So
Okay.
you configure the event bridge, a custom event bridge from account A, and you set up everything, and you want to execute. So you want to invoke this Lambda function account B. So you did everything from the account A, but from account B, the Lambda execution role over. I mean, sorry, from account B, the Lambda, you never configured the source, like who can execute these, who can invoke this Lambda function, or something like that. So, am I correct or not? So the
Yep,
triggers, right?
yep, yep, yep. Absolutely correct. So
Okay.
for every Lambda function, there's also an execution role.
Yeah.
And this is a basic one, just telling that, hey, yeah, I can create logs on my CloudWatch. Uh,
Yep.
but the another interesting part is what you really mentioned, right? Like, hey, can this Lambda function be triggered from
By
any
account
other?
A. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where resource-based policy statements comes in handy. And this
So
resource-based statements are possible only with your Lambda function and SQS event bridge. Hence, you can only trigger these at the moment across accounts. You had a question, Zach?
no, which means you think that I know a serverless now.
Oh, you know.
Just kidding. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
Yep. And
So I'm very interested about seeing this part now. Like, okay, which
it will,
action invoke?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. There's no search there,
so
so
okay,
hard to
so
find it.
so the principal. So this principal is the account ID of the account A, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Nice. So which
So
means account A
define that.
can invoke this function.
Correct.
Okay,
And you
cool.
can also have a policy where
Yeah.
you can define your org ID. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So which means you don't have a org ID already, or like you haven't.
It.
So you.
Oh wait. Good question. Okay. Let's do this and just figure
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess it's in the same org.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah. Save and go back into the other account.
You can
Copy my
resend it,
event.
right? Oh, okay,
Yep.
cool. I thought you can
I
resend.
can,
Oh, yeah, you can resend it, right? Yeah.
yeah, I can resend it.
Let's see.
It's success again. And going back here,
Monitoring.
monitoring, still no.
No, it might take some time to show here. I don't
Yep,
think. Okay.
it's here.
Oh, it's here. Yeah.
The dashboard on Lambda console is takes time, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So here is the event, like the Lambda
Yay!
console printed it.
So excited.
Yes, it's that simple, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you have to do things, and here we're just invoking a Lambda function and print console logging it,
Yeah.
just to show that yeah, you can send events, but uh, in a real world scenario, you could consume these events. You could even
Yes.
say for going back to the same example of uploading a CSV or a data
Yeah.
into your S3, you can have the S3 object URL, all of that in place. If your account B has permissions to read the object from account A, you could even read the object. You could do all the ETL-based jobs with it. And once it's done, you could even have a rule where uh, events from account B can go into account A. So getting in the full cycle of it, so that you might have things where you have to notify in your other account telling that,
Yeah.
hey, the ETL job is done. You have all the responses from it ready, right? So
Yep.
uh, EDA world, this is literally taking a wand and saying, "Phew, go do it."
So I have something to ask. Like, um, so before you need to have two event bridge process, like from A to
Mhm.
B, you have to configure a lot of configurations. Then only the bus says into the bus B and do all the things, right? That how it
So
used to be.
uh, before, cross account was not available. So a cross accounts was working only with the partner buses, the SaaS event buses that's there. So there
Mm.
are a bunch of AWS partners,
Okay.
uh, and they have their own events. Whenever those events occur, it gets invoked into your AWS account. So it was only telling that, hey, as some consumer of a product, I can use their SaaS event bus and work with it. But now you could build applications in a very real world scenario. This is very true, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but there are workloads that are running across accounts, and something
Yeah.
like this is game changing.
No, definitely. Like, I think currently everyone is running all the workloads like cross account. Like, they have the infrastructure account to do the infrastructure stuff, and the DevOps account to do all the CI/CD things, and production UAT, dev, and security. Yeah, multiple accounts. So this can be a game changer, especially if you want to like. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, if you want to trigger your pipelines in multiple accounts, right? So this could be a good. I mean, this could be a game changer for that. Like, you do everything in one account and you want to trigger the pipeline in multiple accounts. Simply, you just give the permissions and voila, everything is done.
Yep. Yep. uh, a good example of the pipelines, right? I know that's coming from a platform engineer, so it's very authentic
Yeah,
use
yeah,
case.
yeah. Yeah. Yes, 100%, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the amazing feature from EventBridge, where you could do cross account uh, resource triggering, and when you're working across events, especially having not just Lambda functions and invoking another event bridge opens up a lot more opportunities,
Yeah.
because event bridge can in turn trigger a whole bunch of AWS services. I mean, it's even hard to count how many services event bridge can trigger.
Yes. Yes. I don't use day to day, but I think 1 month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, I did the DevOps professional certification. So I learned a lot about EventBridge, and I did play around with a lot. It's super amazing. Yes.
Yep.
And it made me like, oh, containers are really cool. Oh, I should move to these. Oh, just kidding.
You kid about those things.
Yeah.
I'll take care of you. I when we meet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. That's amazing, man. Like super simple, and we are just talking about account A and B. It can be account plus one in like multiple accounts, and yeah, if you're I think if you're creating your SaaS platform top of AWS, and if you're thinking such a solution like this to trigger your invoke your Lambda functions or other stuff, like I think like I mentioned, like pipelines. Yes, again, you can trigger those things. And I would like to, so I would like to give some hands on. I mean, like I would like to go and test it out tonight or maybe
Mhm.
tomorrow. The pipeline thing, because when you mentioned about this, everything in my head, like it's moving around. Like, okay, I should check with code pipeline and code
Mhm.
build and code
Mhm.
deploy, right? Like if I have like 100 accounts, how can I trigger from one place? Yes.
Yep. Yep.
So I have done this before, but not in this simple way. So it has to be done in like you mentioned, like you have to do so many steps to get this done. But yeah, I'll have a look.
Yeah, like Dr. Werner Vogel says, it's simplicity,
Yes,
right?
exactly. 100%. Everything is simplicity. Yeah.
Yeah, and serverless is simplicity.
Okay. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the whole
Mm.
tiny demo about EventBridge.
Yep. And I would mention, I think we both got a lot of response from the last episode about the e-case auto mode, and everyone is trying out, and I was like explaining them and helping them, and some are they figure out themselves like how to solve these things. Like that's really amazing. Like people are trying out and they are learning on the go. So yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm really happy that people are trying out and going through the episode to exactly that episode to learn about the case of auto mode and give the feedback, and yeah, that's amazing.
that's what community is and the power of community.
Yeah.
Because I know that one person reached out to both of us telling that, hey, I'm trying to build this EKS
Yeah.
auto mode
Yeah.
using a specific ISE tool, and I'm
Mm.
not able to do it. But let's blame the time zones. But
Yeah.
we were not able to get back on time, and we did give him certain tips,
Yeah.
and he was able to figure things out on his own. And I know that he made a LinkedIn post about it very recently,
Yes.
about 2 days ago or something. And I was telling him, hey, you need to write about this and
Yes.
share it with the wider audience. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
that's
uh,
absolutely what community is. And if somebody is already applied for community builders program, community builder program is literally filled with all these amazing folks who share their insights about how did they do a certain thing in on AWS when the whole world was stuck with the same problem.
yes, exactly. So the community builder Slack program is like, I mean, the community programs come with a Slack channel, so dedicated Slack channel for all the community builders, all the couple of AWS folks, and I think a lot of heroes also there, and everyone is so cool and helping each other. I have multiple times I have like replied a lot of people, like find a solution and feedback, and even I seek for like feedback and help. So that is a really really good platform to check it out, the community builders program. I think the program is already closed around.
Okay, program is not closed. Applications are closed.
Sorry. The application is so the program application is closed around in 12th or 20th. I don't remember the exact
20th
date.
Jan, yeah, 20th Jan.
20 Jan, 20 Jan. Yes, the time zone differs, but I'm I'm located in the corner of the world, so.
Yeah, you begin with your day before the whole world, so yeah, you can brag about
Yes,
it.
Yes, it's almost 9:30. No, it's almost 10 p.m. now. Mhm.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, thanks, Jack, about these amazing serverless stuff tonight. And okay, for my time tonight, maybe it's your daytime. I'm so sorry, but yeah, maybe next time we'll talk about something very interesting. Maybe we might have a guest.
Yep.
Surprise.
Whoa, there is Dheeraj, who's just commented absolutely. I guess he was talking
Okay.
about the power of community. And Dheeraj,
Yes.
for those of you who don't know, Dheeraj is one of the heroes from India, and he's been doing a lot of amazing things. I just saw that this morning he was talking about Party Rock with Mike
Yeah.
Chambers. So yeah, do
I
check
was
out Dheeraj.
really, I was really impressed with these AI generated profile pictures. Oh, amazing,
Mhm.
man! Like
Yep.
every post is a different picture, like his portrait. Like I was like, oh, Dheeraj, nice man, looks handsome.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Fun.
Yes, we will see you in another amazing episode next time. And until then, take care and goodbye.
And bye-bye. And in case if you're building something on EventBridge, reach out to one of us and we can help you with the whole
If it's
feature.
serverless, please reach out to this guy. Yes.
Yeah, if you still have questions about EKS Auto Mode, Zach is the guy.
Oh no, just kidding.
Because
Anytime, man. So
I don't know a thing. Odd EKS.
yeah, you can reach out to us through the LinkedIn, or I'm happy to have a chat. If I don't know, like definitely I'll go and check it out and get back to you. But yeah, anytime, happy to help. And take care until the next episode. Bye bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye. See you soon.